Welcome to a Key Smash Studios tutorial. This week I'll be continuing with tile maps, specifically colliders on tile maps. I'm going to show you a simple way to do it with no code, and then I'll go in and show you a way to add colliders based off the code we did last week when we were scripting tiles. If this video helps you out, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. So to go ahead and begin, I'm going to create a new scene, and this will just be our collider scene. And in this scene, I'm going to go ahead and create a tile map. This first tile map, I'll simply call the background tile map. And then I'm just going to copy and paste it. And then I'm going to call this one the collider tile map. And then I'm going to add a component to this one, and it'll just be the tile map collider 2D. Now what we'll go ahead and do is go to our tile palette. We're going to create a new one, and we'll just call this collider palette. And I'm going to put it in my collider tiles folder. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull in all of my dirt art. And once again, I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them at 128 so they properly fit into the tile map size. Now that I've done that, I'm going to drag them into my palette, put them in my collider tiles folder. And now I'm going to click on the collider tile map and make sure up here that my active tile map says collider tile map. I'll go ahead and do the edges of my tile map. And as you can see, as I'm placing them in, it shows a collider box around it. And so now if I switch over to my background tile map and just place the middle pieces, you can see that those don't have colliders. So again, this just simply adds a collider around it. You can create two different tile maps, one without colliders and one with colliders for edges or other objects that you want to have colliders on them. So now if I were to create a 2D sprite and give it the circle knob mask, and then give it a circle collider, and then also give it a rigid body. And then we'll simply just pull it up to the top and click play. You can see that it'll fall into my little box and that the colliders hold it up. So that's an easy way to do it without code. Now I'll go ahead and we'll go back to our custom tiles scene. This is what we did in last week's video, so if you didn't watch that one, make sure you go back and watch that one and follow the code for it if you're wanting to do the code for this. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the script that we did last week and scroll down to the area where we were getting the tile data. So if you remember from last week, this was our index and neighbor counter, so that way we could see which blocks we wanted to appear based off the neighbors for the sprites. And so for this, I want all of my edge pieces to have a collider, and I want my middle piece and my top piece to not have a collider. So I'm going to take whenever there's an index 0 or an index of 2, I'm going to make the collider type of none, and any other ones I'm going to make the collider of grid. So as you can see here, last week we just gave all of them a collider type of none, so I'm just going to add in these few lines of code to say if my index is 0, or if my index is 2, then I still want it to have type none collider. But if it's any other index but 0 and 2, I want the collider type to be grid, which simply just puts a 2D collider around the sprite. So if we save this and go back to the scene, And then I'll go ahead and click on my grid here and my tile map. You can see that this has already put in the colliders for me. So just to show you the different manipulations, we'll go ahead and switch it, and we'll say that we want our edges to not have a collider and our inside to have a collider. So again, we save, we go, and we let it load for a second. And now that it's loaded, you can see that it fills all of the inside with a collider and none of the edges have a collider. So depending on what your game is and what you want to have it do, just depending on the type of tile and its data, you can change it inside code like this. I'm going to change it back to the way it was originally. But that's it for this video. I hope this has helped you figure out how to add colliders, either on a simple level where you're just hand putting it in, or on a code level so you don't have to physically go and place them yourself, to where you can just kind of mass put them in and it'll determine it for you where they should be. If this video helped you, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching. See you next time.